Hello everyone, welcome back to Prep Pro Papers. So your exams are coming near on 8th of December. We'll try to finish up with the previous year questions, and if the time permits, I'll try even to upload a quick revision notes. And for many of you asking for the PDF, you can easily get that by emailing us. The email ID is at the about section of the channel. Please click it there and email us, and we'll quickly provide you with the PDF of the notes. So let's get started with the chemistry section now. So the first question says, what is the molarity of water if its density is 1000 kg per meter cube? Molar mass of water is 18 gram per mole. Okay, so we know that the molarity will be equal to, say the amount is X upon the molar weight into the volume. So here if we do for the volume conversion, we know that density is equal to mass by volume. So the volume thing will be equal to mass upon the density. Here mass is, which we have taken, is X, so X upon D. So X upon molar value, molar mass is 18 into X and above D. So from X, this X it cancel. Density is 1000 upon 18, which will come upon 55.55. Answer is option number 1. Let's get to next question. The roasting of cocoa beans or the baking of bread gives us the flavors and aromas that we savor in these foods. It also produces melanoidins that give the brown color associated with roasting or baking. Which chemical reaction is responsible for this delicious outcome? So the answer is Maillard reaction. I'll explain how. So the Maillard reaction is a complex series of chemical reactions between amino acids and the reducing sugars. That occurs when the food is heated. It is the reaction that produces the melanoids, contributing to the flavor and the aroma and the brown color of the roasted and baked foods. Let's get to the next question. The rate of reaction for a second order reaction can be dependent on the concentration of one reactant. So if say there is one reactant only and that gives the product, so here the rate of the reaction will become rate constant into A, concentration of A square. So it's true, dependent on the concentration of two reactants. So if there are two reactants, sorry for this, A plus B, which give the products, so the rate of the reaction will become K into A into B. So yes, depend upon the two reactants. So independent of product concentration, this is partially true until equilibrium reaches. Or it involves a reversible steps. So the correct option is option number 4, all of the above. Next question says, when larger globular proteins are homogeneously mixed with short polymer chains, which of the following statement is true? Okay, so when larger globular proteins are homogeneously mixed with the short polymer chains, we call it as depletion interaction. So what is a depletion reaction? So the smaller polymers tend to maximize their entropy by avoiding the volume occupied by the larger proteins. As a result, the smaller polymers create an osmotic pressure that pushes the larger proteins together. So the correct option is option number 4. as explained by the depletion interactions definition. Next question is an again factual question. K catalyst upon Km signifies, so this value is our catalytic efficiency. Which is specific for the enzyme for different substrates. Next question says, which one of the following statement is wrong? Cellulose is a polysaccharide? Yes, true. Uracil is a pyrimidine? Yes. So my professor taught me a concept because his name was, I won't call the name, but the abbreviation of the name was A and G. So he said that Ag is pure and others are not. So that with this I always remember. So we say that A and G are the purines and C, T or U are pyrimidine. Hope you will also remember this from the strict. So this is uracil is a pyrimidine, correct. Serine is a sulfur containing amino acid. So okay, serine is an amino acid but it's not sulfur containing. Sulfur containing amino acids are cysteine and methionine. Next question says, sucrose is a disaccharide. Yes, it's true. But we found a false statement, so I didn't read the next step, but you should not do that in exams. Next question says, silicate, silicon and silica all share the follow. Yes, all of them share the SiO bonds. Some has SiO bonds, some has SiO and Si bonds. Next question says, choose the appropriate option from below for spectroscopic evidence of hydrogen bonding formation D and H. A, where D and A are the hydrogen bonding donor and acceptors respectively. H is the hydrogen atom. Okay, so some terms which we see common in all the options are red shift and blue shift and IR and NMR spectroscopy. NMR spectrum, sorry. So let's talk about for the first infrared spectroscopy. So in infrared spectroscopy, hydrogen bonding typically results in a red shift, that is at a lower frequency shift. In the DH vibrational frequency, this is because the hydrogen bond weakens the DH bond, making it vibrate at a lower frequency. Now when we talk about for the NMR spectrum, in NMR spectroscopy, the hydrogen involved in the hydrogen bond becomes de-shielded. So it's not shielding, it's de-shielded, and this means that it experiences a higher chemical shift moving downfield in the NMR spectrum because the electron density around the hydrogen atom is reduced due to the interaction with the acceptor atom. So the correct option is option number 1. I hope you are listening it carefully. The next question says, if you have added a drop of high concentration sugar solution in a bowl of water at room temperature, a few minutes later, which of the following statement is true? Okay, so a high viscosity may slow down the diffusion process, but it will not make the rate of change of concentration to be 0. So this option is wrong. The next option says the rate of change of concentration of the sugar solution at a point in the space is proportional to the second derivative of concentration with time. So there is no concept of the second derivative, it's proportional to the concentration of time, but there is no formula derived for that. The next question says the molar flux of sugar molecules is proportional to the concentration of gradients. Yes, this is true because according to the Fick's first law of diffusion, the molar flux J is equal to minus D and upon concentration gradient dC upon dx. So this is correct. The temperature gradient will be proportional to the second derivative of concentration with time. Again, there is no direct relationship between the time and the temperature gradient. So option number 3 is correct. Next question says, what chemical would you add to DTO to produce ND3? So this is DTO is your heavy water and ND3 is denatured ammonia. It's a very famous reaction. You can even find it in the NCERT. So Li3N with added to heavy water, it gives denatured ammonia and lithium tetroxide, that is 3LiOD, lithium deuteroxide. Option number 3. Let's move to the next question. Identify the statement about the hemoglobin that is not correct. Be aware of this not correct and the correct statement. Please read the question very carefully in your exam. Oxygen binds the porphyrin ligands of the heme group. This is wrong because oxygen binds to the iron atom within the porphyrin ring. Next option says oxygen binding is sensitive to pH. Yes, this is what we know as the Bohr effect, where hemolysis oxygen binding affinity decreases at a lower pH. Next is carbon monoxide is toxic as it binds hemoglobin with a higher affinity than oxygen. Yes, this is true because it prevents, it's toxic because it prevents oxygen binding. Oxygen binding to hemoglobin is reversible. Yes, that is why, because that is the reason why the transfer from the lungs alveoli to the cell and again the carbon dioxide through the cellular matrix to the lungs is been exchanged. Next is, which of the following options shows the appropriate soluble S curve of the globular protein in polar solvent when plotted as a function of pH? IEP is the isoelectric point of the protein. Okay, so we know at the isoelectric point of the protein is least soluble. This is because it has no net charge, leading to the minimal electrostatic repulsion between the protein's molecule. Thus, the solubility is least. So we check for which of the following is showing the least at IEP. No, this is not. Yes, this shows the least. This is showing the highest. So this is again not the correct option. And this is again saturated. It's not the case of the saturation. The charge again comes after the isoelectric point. So the correct option is option number B. The next question says the data in the table below is collected for an enzyme catalyst reaction. This is the data. The Km for this enzyme is approximately. This is very easy question. It looks lengthy, but it's very easy. It's simply, we know that the V naught is equal to V max upon 2. So we'll find the value of V max. And we know that wherever the V naught is achieved, that is the half of the V max speed. I shall not say the V naught, but let me frame the V value correctly. it should be the velocity that is half when the reaction can be successfully converted. The half the maximum rate of the conversion is what, where the km comes. So it's Vmax upon 2. Let's find out the Vmax. So the highest V naught value, that Vmax is 280 here, and half of this will be 280 by 2, that is 140. 140 comes here. So this is the value where Vmax is half. So the km value will be this, 2 into 10 to the power minus 5, option number B. A series of alkane is shown below. Which of the one has the lowest melting point? Again, with the one with the lowest number of double bonds will be option number 1. So the correct option is option number 3. Which of the following molecule is a tautomere of the structure shown? Okay, this is a structure. The correct answer is option number B, because we see if the hydrogen moves here and the double bond shifts here, the structure will become like this. So the correct option is option number B. Please check for the molecules very carefully. Here you say that the extra H is added, which is not possible. Again, there is not OH group, and here the double bond shift is incorrect. Okay, the next section is of biology, which we'll be covering in part 4. I hope you are enjoying the series. Please subscribe us and do share your comments and opinion. It really motivates us to do better for you. We'll also come up with some upcoming exams, and for those who are asking for the notes, we can email you the PDF copy of the notes. The email ID is again at the about section of the channel, and if the time permits for me, I'll try to upload a quick revision within the 2 days before your exam comes. I'll check that if I can get some, after the analysis of the mode paper, some important topic list. I'll try to share that. Stay tuned and do check our Python series. It's very useful in wherever sector you want to join. So stay tuned, like, share and subscribe PrepPro Papers. Thank you.